Today I have an SAT writing tip for you that deals with when to add versus not add a graph. So this question isn't necessarily one that shows up a ton on the SAT writing section, but it's one that you should be familiar with and know what to do in case it does show up. So let's go ahead and take a look at practice test 8, question 25, and we see that it says at this point the writer is considering adding the following graph. So in order to know whether or not we're going to add a graph, we really need to know what's going on in that paragraph as a whole. So let's go back up. Let's take a look at what's going on in this paragraph. So we have court reporting, humans versus machines. Court reporters for years have been the record keepers of the court, taking scrupulous notes during hearings, depositions, and other legal proceedings. Despite the increasing use of digital recording technologies, court reporters still play a vital role in courtrooms. So we see court reporters play a vital role in courtrooms, so they play an important role. And then we see after 25, we have although machines can easily make digital audio recordings of court events, they lack the nuance of human court reporters in providing a precise record. Alright, so now I take a look at the title of my graph. It says salary comparison, court reporters versus other occupations. Now one thing I want to take note of right away that jumps out to me is that I never talked about salary in my paragraph. Not once was money discussed or salary, nothing with compensation, nothing with comparing the job of legal reporters to other U.S. occupations, right? There was no comparison to other U.S. occupations or other legal occupations, really. It was only about court reporters. So that comparison doesn't make sense. Additionally, we're talking about salary in this graph. I never talked about salary or compensation in my paragraphs. That's a red flag, big, big, big red flag telling me I should not add this graph because it's offering nothing to my paragraph. It adds no support. It adds nothing as far as explaining something that was complex. No addition there. We do not want to add this. So we can go ahead and get rid of the yeses because we know we definitely don't want to add it because it's really not related to what we're talking about other than the fact that it shows the salary of court reporters. But even that is not related to what we're talking about because we aren't talking about how much they're paid. Okay, so we're not going to want to add it. Now let's take a look at our two options. We're going to start with D first because I know that that's wrong and I want to show you why it's wrong. So we have D, no, because it does not provide information about the pay scale for more experienced court reporters. Once again, we're not talking about their salaries. Okay, the key part as to why we don't want to add this is because even if it shows the salaries of court reporters, that's not the subject of the paragraph, so we would be blurring our focus. So the correct answer here is going to be C. No, we don't want to add this paragraph because it's presenting information that's not directly related to the paragraph's discussion of the role of court reporters. If you have a graph and you're asked whether you should add or delete it or add or not add it, you would only want to add it if it's directly supporting something you're saying in that paragraph. If it's directly supporting an idea in the paragraph, or it's providing a piece of evidence in the paragraph, or it's showing a comparison that you make in the paragraph, or it's explaining a key concept in the paragraph, those would be reasons to add a graph to a passage. Now, reasons you would not want to add a graph to a passage. Let's talk about some of those. So some of the major reasons that you would want to make sure you don't add a paragraph to a passage is obviously if it's unrelated. Okay, in this case we see that this graph right here, it's unrelated to what we're talking about. Okay, we know it's talking about salary, and we know in our paragraph we do not talk about salary. So that's obviously a red flag. We want to make sure we don't want to add anything that's unrelated, anything that contradicts. If something contradicts what you're saying in your paragraph, you would not want to add it. Anything like that, anything that's unrelated, that is contradictory or just completely off topic, you want to make sure that you're not adding it to that passage. So hopefully this video is helpful. If it was, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. As always, make sure to have a great day.